Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about history of English literature and language, and of all of actually it's a very vast subject. So we are just going to look at how this land of England was conquered by some of the early settlers. So today we are going to look at two basic tribes that came up to England and invaded it, that had a very good impact on the language, that is English language that came up. So we are going to take a look at from the Celts to the Anglo-Saxons. The Celts are basically the early settlers, and these Celts contained of Britons and Gales. They migrated from the 5th century, and it lasted up to 55 BC, where the Roman invasion began. So even though the Roman invasion came up in 55 BC because they were the dominant um, tribes of the land, it did not make much impact on the early settlers of Celts, since they were only Romanizing the camps and towns with good infrastructure. So the Celtic England had Roman military presence, which was very good for them because it sort of gave them protection from the other invading tribes. Because since England is a very small island country and it is not much far from the other land, it had a very good chance of being attacked by the other tribes. So the Roman presence or the Roman military presence gave them a very good support, and it was actually maintaining peace in the land. This England was the land of Celts and Gales. Now this Roman conquest remained up to 405 AD. It started from 55 BC with Julius Caesar, and it ended with Julius Caesar and Claudius. Later, it extended up to 407 AD. Now, the next group was the Anglo-Saxons. Now, let's see why these Romans were thrown out of the land. It was Visigoths, a German emperor who attacked Rome. So they were actually having a control over England. The Romans were having a very good control over the England, but they couldn't withstand the attack that happened on the Rome. So as a result, they had to withdraw all their army by 407 AD. By this time, once again, the Britons or the Celts were defenseless because they had no one to support them. So these people, they were simply leaving because they had the more military support was being provided by the Roman army. They did not develop their own military power now. So they were just happily leading their life because the military support was being provided by the Roman emperor or the Roman army. So England was under further attacks by Picts and Scots from North and Ireland. So Picts and Scots is another tribal group who came from the North and the Ireland area. So they were attacking England. They were trying to invade it. At the same point of time, another three tribal groups, that is the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes also arrived in England. They were also attacked. They were also trying to invade. And these people, they arrived from the eastern coast of Europe. Actually, the Picts and Scot, they arrived from the north. The Anglo-Saxons and Jute arrived from the eastern coast of Europe. Now, they were actually, the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes were somewhere acting like very good soldiers who could defend the England from the Picts and Scot invaders. So what they offered was to defend the pigskin sword. Thus, one invading group defended the other invading group and ruled England. Angles made their stand in Northumbria and Mercia, Jutes in Wessex, Saxons in East Anglia. They were also very successful in driving off the original inhabitants of England, who were the Celts. So not only they did they drive off the other invading group, that is the Picts and Scots, but they also drove off the original inhabitants of England or the original migrators of England who were settled in England. They were also driven to the mountains of Wales and Ireland. Thus, England at this point of time was called the Anglo land because the Angles were more in number rather than the Saxons and Jutes. So it was sort of being occupied by the Angles and it was called the Anglo land. So if you look at this map, you can find that. So this is where the Jutes came up to England. This is the Angles and Saxons. So these three groups of migrators were, in fact, Negroes. They came to England and they got settled in England, and they drove the original settlers, that is, the cells who were in these regions, to the mountains that is situated over here. So we find that these Angles and Saxons got a very good hold over the land of England, that is around the south of England and towards the north. So the story of King Arthur. So many of us may be know of King Arthur. His the stories about King Arthurs or the fables about King Arthur is very much famous among the literature. So it is said that when Anglo-Saxons invaded England, much resistance was provided by King Arthur. Finally, he ended up losing it because he no more could defeat it because they were attacked from all the sides. The Picts fought were attacking from one side, the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes from the other side. So down the age when Geoffrey of Monmouth created a literary persona of Arthur, the evidence of existence of Arthur is not there. So many historians came up to the argument that King Arthur was merely a literary character or maybe a fictional character that was created by the writers. So if you look at the Anglo-Saxon literature, according to Monmouth, Geoffrey of Monmouth, King Arthur's literature was not present. So he was, many historians came up to the conclusion that he may be a very fictional character created by some of the writers. Thank you.